How's it going, guys? So we have a little bit of a wait between Ireland and France now. There is 2 weeks that we do have to wait. So I wanted to have a little breakdown and open up the conversation as to potential selection problems that both managers might have in relation to Ireland and France, because this is going to be the decider for the Six Nations. Who's going to win? If Ireland come away with a win, I'm pretty certain they're going to end up getting a Grand Slam. They've pretty much that means they would have beaten all the big sides, right? So I can definitely see that happening. And then if France win, however, it opens things up quite a lot. Still gives England the chance, still gives France a chance to win, so that opens up a lot of doors. But both teams are, well, will be struggling with some selections. France more than Ireland, but I want to have a little breakdown. So let's start with Ireland because I think France is where a lot more of the issues come in. So Ireland, we have the issue of Caelan Doris, who he only didn't play in the Wales game because he picked up a knock. Honestly, I think he is going to be fit and ready for the France game, and he's going to jump right in. But Jack Conan did have a pretty good game, so he's definitely a very, very good, replacement to have if needed. But personally, I do see Caelan Doris getting that nod unless he's not 100% fit and ready, because that's kind of what you're going to have to be up against this France side. So Caelan Doris, I do see him coming back in as captain again. Then we have the issue in relation to Peter O'Mahony and Ryan Baird. So personally, I think Baird is I think he's going to get that spot, right? O'Mahony brings in a lot of experience. He brings in that solidity. He brings in, that leader role. But with France being so dynamic, with them moving at such a pace, I honestly feel O'Mahony will struggle to keep up with his counterparts, right? So I feel Ryan Baird has the legs, he's got good strength, and he's kind of going to he's got everything that you could potentially want to really fend off a strong France side, because we just saw exactly what happened up against Italy, where they weren't able to control the main players. They run riot. They absolutely run riot on you. So I do feel Armani is going to be benched, potentially might not even make the squad, and then have Ryan Baird come in at six. We have the issue of Kelleher now coming back, another player that got injured. Well, not necessarily injured, but he had a couple of problems. They kept him out for the Wales side, well, the Wales game, and now he has a bit of time to recover, get fully fit. But the question is, are they going to start Kelleher or are they going to start Sheehan? Right? The Wales game, Sheehan started as captain, and Sheehan is quite possibly one of the best hookers in the world right now. But rugby isn't about having the best player start the game. A lot on tactics, a lot on when to bring on the players, how to bring on impact players. And Dan Sheehan is one of the best impact forwards that you're ever going to find. So honestly, I do see Kelleher coming back in, starting at hooker, and then having Sheehan come in the second half, be that impact player, cause absolute destruction, break in some heads, and really put a stopper to the France side if they haven't already run riot, right? So there is that. And then Hugo Keenan, another player that was rested for the Wales side. I mean, there were a couple of players that were rested, but I can't see Ireland wanting to rest this. I can't see them wanting to rest Hugo Keenan unless he has an injury, because you're going to want that experience. You're going to want that ability. You're going to want that boot that Keenan has, and his ability to deal under pressure, because that's one thing France are going to be hitting them hard with. There's going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of fast ball, and they are going to want to break down that Ireland side as quickly as physically possible, get as many points on the board as possible, and just kind of try and take that game away from Ireland. Because as long as the game is within a 10, 12 point gap, Ireland will always have a chance to come in because we see just how destructive they are. But yeah, that's my general outlook on Ireland. And to be fair, that's not. I mean, we're talking Kelleher over Sheehan, Conan over um, Conan over Doris. You know, like that's not necessarily a big one. Oh yes, one other one was with Gary Ringrose getting a red card. That does leave a space open. So there's no two ways Bundy Aki is not starting. We saw the impact that he had coming up against Wales. That 30 minutes, he broke his nose, black eyes, came on smiling from ear to ear. And like I say, I do feel Bundy Aki is not playing his best rugby unless he is damaged. You know, if he hasn't broken his nose, got a gash in his head, have something with him, he's not playing his best rugby because that's when he's happiest, when he's in pain, and because he's also causing other people pain. So Bundiak is coming in at 12, and I'm pretty certain Henshaw is going to come in at 13. But I would like to know what you guys think and who you think might potentially replace Gary Ringrose now he is out. Don't know how long he is going to be out for, but yeah, it was a stupid tackle. Very, very stupid tackle and unnecessary. So, yeah, we have that. And then we move on into France. Now, this is where things get a bit tricky and this is where things get spicy because France have a real big selection dilemma, right? And that's especially considering that Italy win. Now, let's break down this Italy dilemma, as we call it, right? So, first up, in the last game, we had Flamand and Guillard start. Honestly, I felt Guillard had a brilliant, brilliant game. um, he's very young. He's got a lot to grow. He's a giant. Like he is an absolute monster. He brings so much power to that French side. But he played in the number 5 role, which is normally Miafau. Now there's no two ways Miafau is not starting up against Ireland. No two ways, right? But Huma is a brilliant 4. So I don't know. Maybe they might replace Kiard with Huma or even Flamem, but Huma has actually been playing brilliantly as well. So personally, I think they're going to stick to having Huma and Miafau at 4 and 5, but Giard put in a pretty damn good performance. So I would not be surprised to see him potentially even come on. Guy's just a monster. He's literally a walking fridge. And not one of these small English fridges. I'm talking like those XXL American size fridges with like 900 doors. The guy, he's built like an absolute tank. So, yeah, I really did enjoy Guillard's performance. Then, this is where things really, really get spicy, right? So, Romain Intermac is coming back after his injury, after his red card. Now, this is where things are going to get tricky because, firstly, Galtier he tried Jalibert, right? Didn't exactly do the best. They kind of scraped, and they ended up losing, which wasn't good for really wasn't good. And next thing you see is Jalibert. He doesn't even make the squad. He goes back to play for Bordeaux, and Bordeaux actually ended up winning, and he played brilliantly. But what we did see was we saw Ramos in the last game drop in at 10, Leo Barre come in at 15. Ramos played brilliantly. Barre played brilliantly. He bagged himself two tries as well. So this is where the dilemma comes in, right? Because not only do you have Jalibert, who has all the qualities to be a top level player and is a top level player, but then we see Romain Intermac come in, and we all know that Intermac and Dupont, you know, combination is deadly, right? But could we also potentially see Ramos back at 10? Could we see Jalibert come in at 10? Personally, I do see Intermac coming in. and doing his job as needed, seeing Ramos go back to 15. But that opens up a question: is Leo Barre played his socks off? He played brilliantly. He was everywhere, bagged himself 2 tries, and not like 2 sloppy tries, 2 brilliant tries. And we see how well he can carry the ball. We see how quick he is with his feet. So that's going to be a selection nightmare. Personally, the way I do see it, especially up against Ireland, you're going to see Dupont at 9, and Tamak at 10, Ramos at 15. But only time will tell. For that, we do still have 2 weeks to wait for the announcement. No matter how sad that does make me. Then the other issue that I do see, because there's no two ways BLBRA is getting substituted, dropped. No, that 11 spot is his. But that number 14 spot, however, that is up for grabs. That one is definitely up for grabs. Same thing with Jalibert. Didn't exactly have the best game up against England. What happens? He gets dropped. They allow him back to play for Bordeaux. Again, plays brilliantly for Bordeaux. But what did we see when Atisogbe came back on? We saw the performance that Atisogbe had in the opening day, right? Opening day, we saw Atisogbe for Wales. I think he bagged himself 2 tries. Take into consideration, this guy's only 20 years old. 20 years old. He gets dropped. Pinot comes back in, doesn't have the best of games. And then, he gets his selection back up against Italy. Ooh, things get spicy again. At the Sogbe, he bags himself another try as well. Brilliant try assist from BLBRA, but brilliant. Atisogbe had such a good game where he was here, then everywhere. He was chasing down everything. His passing was on point. He was breaking down players. He was breaking down the defensive line. The guy played absolutely phenomenal. So this is going to be an interesting one to see whether Galtier is going to go for Pinot again, or is he going to opt for the younger Atisogbe, who has technically been in much better form in the Six Nations than Pinot has. It's going to be interesting to see, is he going to go for experience or is he going to go for youth? Because right now the youth is outplaying the experience. So personally, I think Atisogbe is going to get a start up against Ireland. I do not think Pinot is going to get it. I do potentially see them. Thinking about that, I think Galtier might even go for another 7-1. I think he might go for another 7-1 split and probably run the same route and have Luku as the only back on the bench. So if Pinot doesn't play, he might not even get a place on the team. So it's going to be interesting to see how Galtier is gonna work this, right? Because Galtier is obviously trying some different things with the bench. The 7-1 split worked up against Wales. Will it work up against Ireland? Who knows? Sorry, not Wales, Italy. Who knows? So Ireland is a completely different ballgame. I mean, having players like Gross, Malvaca, Antonio, and then having Boudahan, having players like Mofana, Barassi, Aldrit, all of these players, I'm pretty certain we're going to see them. They have guaranteed themselves as starters for France. No two ways they're not going to be played up against Ireland. But there are those other different positions around the squad, which I can definitely see a couple of changes being made. And honestly, in relation to Atisogbe, they are going to want that sheer dynamism, that electric pace that Atisogbe is going to play. And the guy's like a bulldog, right? We saw him holding off people. We saw him tackling ridiculous. guy is so good and so young. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in relation to this. Could we see an Intermac DuPont pairing? Maybe they might try. Maybe they might try Ramos at 10 and Leo Barre at 15. Right. So let me know what your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys think in relation to in relation to the selection process. And do you think any of these predictions might be right? So drop your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I just want to provide you guys with the best content possible. And on that note, catch you guys in the next one. Bye.